Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague, and with me like always is Noah Bailey. So, this week it has been officially confirmed. This project has been rumored for a while. I feel the MCU has been building to this for some time. It's officially been confirmed that a Thunderbolts movie is in the works.
All right, there we go.
Yes. And the rumor is essentially saying, characters like Bucky, Elena, Ghost, even Taskmaster, Zemo are in the conversation to go on this team very Suicide Squad-esque to just do stuff. And that just sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's smart because, and again, it is cool because it is kind of like their Suicide Squad, and it's a good excuse to utilize characters whose stories may or may not be kind of done, and B, have a better reason not to necessarily kill off characters because you can use them better later.
Yeah, because Ghost, the villain from Ant-Man the Wasp, she didn't die, but I kind of want to see more of her. Obviously, Elena and Bucky, I would love to see in more stuff. Zemo is always fun, essentially leading the team, but people not really liking him, but him just being good at what he does, and just obviously, John Walker is gonna be there.
Oh yeah, U.S. Agent's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's a lot of possibilities with this. You hate to see you kind of wish there was a Killmonger, but it's okay.
Yeah. Always Multiverse.
That is true. It's like you could just be like, "Hey, Multiverse," but at the same time, it's like, no. I'd be for it.
And having Val essentially be the Amanda Waller of the team,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yep. And it does kind of suck that William Hurt, the guy that played Thunderbolt Ross, recently passed away. But they could do a thing where the team is essentially named in his honor, he died in the universe, and the team is named in his honor. I think that would work just fine.
I think that'd be perfect, and it'd be a good acknowledgement of him going forward. Yeah.
That probably means that we won't get any Red Hulk, or if we do, it'll be a different character becoming Red Hulk. If we did get a Red Hulk, but I don't think we need a Red Hulk in this universe. It's not a necessary thing that we're missing.
Not really.
But so I'm not too worried about that. But this will be a good way to honor him. Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. Admittedly, I was kind of expecting this to be a show. I guess considering it, at least in the format that we saw it, Val first showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I feel like since it was first introduced in a show, and it seems like more puzzle pieces are being introduced through shows with the Elena, possibly something in She-Hulk with Abomination. Expecting it to be all the different shows are leading in up to a Thunderbolts show, but the movie is good too.
Yeah, and just you worry a little bit that it gets kind of the Eternals treatment where there's too many characters, but the difference is we already know most of these characters, so it might not. You don't need to necessarily have as much time with every single one of them. But still.
Exactly. Yeah. That there's no release date or really any other information about it. We just know that people from Black Widow and Falcon Winter Soldier are working on it, and those are decent. Those are good enough for what they are. So I think this show or this movie will be just fine.
Yeah. I agree.
Another thing that I believe in the MCU that will be just fine, if not actually really good, Deadpool 3. The Deadpool 3 writer has reconfirmed for the 18 millionth time that this movie will be rated R.
Okay, well, you do worry though, because it is Disney now, so you do worry that it might not.
Every single time anybody connected with this movie is interviewed, they're like, "Now is this movie rated R?" It's like, yes, obviously.
Very much so, rated R.
Ryan Reynolds has, the director has, several different writers have been interviewed. Yes, it'll be rated R. You don't need to worry about it.
Hey, we just want to make sure we're getting what we're getting.
And I understand, although I personally feel like the writers of Deadpool could make a very solid PG-13 Deadpool movie with him knowing he's in a PG-13 MCU movie and make jokes about that. but
yeah,
but it being, but like it being rated R is obviously like what should happen. So I'm glad it is. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, it's. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're good. You paused for a second.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, we're back.
We're back. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, even if it is, you know, like I know, like they've had two R-rated ones, and like it's like you want to finish off the trilogy on the same way you started. Definitely, no, not holding back anything because it's Deadpool. It's how it should be. Now, maybe if he does like a crossover or something eventually with maybe like X-Men or something down the road, I could see them kind of scaling that back. But in his movie, yeah, I would. Yeah,
like I definitely don't want to see Tom Holland Spider-Man involved in a rated R Deadpool story, but a PG-13 Deadpool showing up in a Spider-Man story, that could be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And I still really, really want at least Colossus just to be there. And just to be like, you've been here the whole time. Colossus is just in the MCU now. Because the Colossus we got, like, that's kind of perfect. Like, I don't really feel like they need to recast him. Like, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, he looks the part. He's, you know what I mean? Everything works, so why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they said this movie is coming out 2024. So just a little bit longer to wait for it, but it's when it comes out, it'll be rated R. It'll be hilarious. I trust everyone who's making it. So yeah, good.
Yes.
So something kind of bizarre is currently happening at this very moment. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is still in theaters as of right now. It is coming, and it's going to be coming to Disney Plus on, I believe, June 22nd.
Okay.
At this moment, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is sitting at $914 million. I mean, it could be the first movie in history to make $900 million.
That's right. Movies don't make 900. Well, do you think they would forego the Disney Plus in order to get it over the hump? How long do you think it can if they waited?
I don't know. Like it's had decent legs, but it would have to be like another month or so in order to actually pass it. The number I gave is a little outdated. This weekend it made a little more, so it's now at 930 million. So maybe like 4 more weekends could maybe do it, but that would pass it being on Disney Plus. I don't know. That it would be really close. And I find that very funny.
Well, are they gonna? They might not necessarily take it all out of theaters when it goes on Disney Plus, are they?
Especially since other Disney Plus isn't widely available in other countries, so
right.
At least worldwide, they're probably not going to take it off that soon. But in America, if it is in theaters, it would probably greatly diminish in sales, considering people haven't done it. But it'll be just be very funny. Not that I think this movie deserves it. I personally, really like the movie, so I think, like I think it probably should make a billion, but it would be just very funny how all these movies either make 800 million or 1 billion, nothing in between. But this movie randomly maybe is going to sit somewhere like the 980 million. That'd be very funny. Okay, so after some technical issues, we're back. Do you have anything else you want to say about Doctor Strange?
Just you always root for it to reach a billion, just because you want it to be on that plateau. But again, there's nothing wrong with 900 something million. Come on. but especially, still lingering waves of COVID. So, like, there's still that asterisk, too. Like, that's still very impressive given the circumstances.
Right. But yeah, it's been a meme on this channel for a while that movies don't make 900 million. So I've been fishing for that one. It hasn't happened yet, but we'll see. We'll see.
I kind of hope so, just so we can have that joke.
Speaking of Marvel movies in theaters, Spider-Man No Way Home is returning to theaters September 2nd.
Wait, why?
Specifically, they're calling it the Spider-Man No Way Home, the More Stuff Edition. It has, like, deleted scenes and other stuff in there.
I know that's a complete, total cash grab, but they're right. It works. I'm
probably gonna see it.
I'm totally gonna see it. Like, I just want to see the movie in theaters again anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll go see it again.
I think I've only seen it the one time, so yeah, I would love to go see it again.
I think I saw it twice. I saw it twice. Cause I saw it opening night, and then later I saw it with my brother. So I'm probably gonna see it again. Yeah, I'll see it again.
Yeah, I mean, even if the deleted scenes like aren't finished or don't or clearly tell they shouldn't be in there, it's fine.
I mean, yeah, especially the movie's been out for a while now too, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah. Plus,
I'd be for that.
It'll give the studio an excuse to actually market the movie with all three Spider-Men, because they didn't get to really do that before because that was a spoiler.
True.
Yeah. That's good. It's fun when movies that you want to see in theaters again get put back in theaters again.
Like Morbius, right?
Speaking of movies Sony movies that get put back in theaters. Man. So obviously this movie got memed to death. Everyone was before it even came out, everyone was making fun of how much money it wasn't going to make, ironically saying it was going to be the highest grossing movie of all time, making like $200 trillion and win all these awards and had just so many memes before the movie came out. But then it came out and no one saw it. And the memes just kind of kept going because the memes of it ironically not making money came true. People and because no one saw it, you could say literally anything happened in it and you can't disprove them.
How can you tell me I'm wrong?
And then when little clips and little things from it did come out, it's is this actually from the movie? Is this from something else? Will these actors I don't does he actually say it's Morbid time? He doesn't, but who can say he does? Or I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's the thing. I was like, wait, have you seen the movie?
No.
Well, that's why I was so confused with that movie. When it came out, it's Morbid. I'm like, where did this come from? What is this? I was like, did I miss something? I 1,000% would have noticed that. Oh, the memes.
So because even though all of the memes are about people clowning about the fact that no one saw this movie, Sony had the bright idea to re-release the movie into theaters a month and a half later, saying it's Morbid time. See it again in theaters.
No one
saw it. First time. It made only $300,000. Opening weekend, $300,000.
Oh no! Worldwide, in the last. Oh,
at least in America, I don't know if it was just domestic or worldwide, but at least the number that I saw was the weekend it re-released was $300,000.
Either way, that's pitiful.
that's not enough money to change. So like, you know, on a Box Office Mojo, it was sitting at 163 million before this. It's still 163 million.
It's so bad. Like, that's not even enough money to like change the signs to say Morbius is back in theater. Oh my gosh.
Man, it's so funny. Like before the movie even came out, I predicted it would make like around 167 million. I was right apparently. I actually overshot.
Wait, how much does it make?
163 million.
That's it.
That's it.
Good gracious. Oof. I like how we're talking about Doctor Strange made 900 million and just like, oh, Warriors made 163 million. Which again, obviously to one person, 163 million is a conglomerate of money. But
yes.
like for a multi-million-dollar movie to be made to only make that,
I think it had a budget of 75 million, so it made double its budget, but
technically,
but considering it got delayed and had reshoots and just, you know, got delayed again and delayed again and just
no one. And if they made a sequel, it'd be worse.
I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea.
Honestly, I think they didn't. I don't think they actually thought. I think they thought, oh, if we just give an excuse to put it back, maybe it'll make our bottom line look better.
I don't know if it was worth it. $300,000 is not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it backfired. I didn't think it would backfire that hard, though.
So I have a feeling when they release Spider-Man, it's going to make a little more than $300,000.
Probably.
Is them re-releasing Spider-Man just a ploy for them to say they made $2 billion? Absolutely.
100%.
Because it's like 1.9 billion. It's like really close. If they just make 100 million worldwide, like that's good. This Morbius wasn't even gonna. No, you're not even breaking 200 million at this point. It's just not happening.
No, they're done. It's so funny because like I remember this first got announced. Wow, that's gonna be terrible. First trailer comes out. Wow, that's going to be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Opening weekend numbers. Wow, that's doing terrible. Later, that's still terrible. Goes to see the movie. Wow, that was terrible. Like, I've never been so sure of a dumpster fire and then just like correct on all accounts. Like, no, at no point was there any chance of this being like solid. Like, you saw this like before it came out, you knew it was going to be bad.
Yep.
While it was being made, you're like, this is going to stink. It comes out, it sticks. It does not at any point get any better. And now it just needs to die. But
yeah, we've been, you know, reporting on this movie since I think late 2019 at the earliest. And like, you know, I didn't know who Morbius was when this movie was announced. I hadn't watched any like major Spider-Man content outside of the movie, so I just didn't know who he was yet. So I was like, you know, he's not exactly a well-known household name, but like, nope. Maybe they'll do something with him. Then Jared Leto was attached to the project, and it was like, oh no.
Right. You're like, okay, this might have a chance. Jared Leto. Ooh, well, there goes that.
It's like, he's not a bad actor. Just he can't be in good projects for some reason. Like, yes, he was in Blade Runner 2049 as the villain, and like, but like, generally speaking, people don't like talk about that movie in reference to him. So he's just also there. I don't know. Just nothing about this movie felt like a good idea.
No. But I mean, they try. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's the problem. There's a lot of problems with this movie because the original premise, a movie about a C-list Spider-Man villain without Spider-Man is inherently a bad idea.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you put Jared Leto, who is again not necessarily a bad actor, but the last couple of things that he has been the main focus of have not gone very well.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of continues that. So that's 2 strikes. And then COVID happens. And everything gets delayed, reshoots, rewrite, all these things. So that's 3 strikes already before your movie's even done.
Mm-hmm.
And then your movie comes out.
On April 1st, mind you.
Right? And what usually happens around this time of year?
Another Marvel movie comes out.
Exactly. So now you're already striked out, but you're still getting striked. So like we're on strike 4 now. Because again, this was not the time to go because you're coming out when a big Marvel movie's coming out. So you're directly competing with something that's way out of your weight class, along with all these other problems that's come before it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at the point where it's just like this movie has no chance.
Right.
Even if it's good at this point, it's not going to do well, but it's not. So it's not even going to have that either. So, I mean, this is...
Like,
there was no chance for this movie.
If it came out first weekend of March, I feel it could have maybe done a little better.
No, but that was Batman, though.
That was Batman,
so
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no,
Right.
it would have got crushed either way.
Yeah. that 1st of April spot is cursed because Shazam also was there.
Saying, it's like, really, this whole, like, there was not a lot of good spots for this movie, but I feel like with the kind of movie it was, I feel like maybe closer to, like, September, October would have been a little more helpful because, you know, March to June is usually blockbuster month. These are the big time heavy hitters. So there's always at least one Marvel movie in there. You know, but there's been a lot of big movies in theaters lately. I mean, Top Gun apparently is doing really well. You know, we talked about Batman, Doctor Strange. I mean, Thor's coming out later this summer. I mean, we've got a lot of things. Jurassic World came out last weekend. Like, you've got some highlighters, like some heavy hitters that Morbius does not needs to stay in its lane.
And if it had come out any earlier, it'd be in the way of both Spider-Man No Way Home and Uncharted, 2 other Sony movies. So it just Noah's watching a double feature of Uncharted or Spider-Man into Morbius. Yeah. Now moving on to another superhero movie that has gotten some delays, but I feel is at least a little more hype behind it. Black Adam recently got its first like official trailer, and what are your thoughts?
It was okay. Like it did not by any means blow me out of the water, but it wasn't like, wow, this is not going to look good. It was kind of middle of the road. Now it's interesting because there are a couple things I saw that were like very like because like the ship that they were flying in looked very much like it was inspired from Black Panther, like almost weird how similar it looked, which I was just kind of like, all right. And then of course there's the whole flying next to plane scene that reminds you of Iron Man 1, and you're kind of like, okay. So like you can kind of see they're really, whether they mean to or not, there seems to be a lot of Marvel like inspiration behind it.
Yeah,
but
it's also, I know this is the canon of Black Adam, but like we just got Moon Knight where he died and an Egyptian god gave him powers to keep him alive. And that's what this trailer showed that Black Adam's origin also is. So like, I don't know, that just seems, it's just another thing that's similar to another Marvel thing.
Tropes are kind of, or like similarities are kind of on the nose here. Yeah, but all in all, I mean, other than those things, I didn't think it was bad. Like, I think it was pretty interesting. It's a fairly okay trailer. I did like the one scene where the guy like tries to hit him, and it just cuts to him going to like. I thought that was really funny.
I like the idea of him catching the missile and like exploding it on himself and just tanking it. Like that's fun. Yes. That I feel like that's a good show, a good thing to show the audience. Like this guy is super powerful. Like it's one thing to just like shoot him with a bunch of bullets and him not deal, but like a missile, him willing to hit himself with a missile that he was fast enough to catch. that shows that this man means business, and like I felt like that was a good imagery there.
Yeah, no, very like super impressive and like a very good show of power, especially for early in the trailer. Like this guy's no joke.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I am really looking forward to the scenes of him fighting off Hawkman, Atom Smasher, and Dr. Fate, which the little bit we saw of Dr. Fate I thought looked pretty good. His magic did look a little Doctor Strangey, even though I feel his like I like the Ankh or whatever, like that cross looking thing. Mm-hmm. That's always been Dr. Fate's thing, but as long as it looks cool, I don't really care what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Fate's always a cool one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's coming out in October, which is probably for the best, because originally it was going to come out sometime in July, which I feel Thor would have, blown it out. So I feel this coming out in October is probably the right play. I'd be way more likely to see it on its own in October as opposed to trying to compete with Thor. So, okay, we're back again. Do you have anything else you want to say about Black Adam?
Just that I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know it's October, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, looking forward to it. We'll see. I personally don't want them to do the whole anti-hero be remorseful thing for him, because he is supposed to be a bad dude. Mm-hmm. But again, we'll just see how they do it, because if they do it well, it could work. So I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, because like one of the main things from the trailer was Dr. Fate saying he had a dream about Black Adam either saving or destroying the world. I was imagining like the villain or the antagonist of the movie to be the Justice Society of America. But if like there actually is some bigger bad that Black Adam needs to like team up with them to actually beat, I'll be a little annoyed by that. Not that it wouldn't be cool to watch, probably, but yeah, I want to see Black Adam just being strong and just being other heroes. That just sounds like a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But maybe they'll be done well. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And it is Dwayne Johnson, so like this is gonna be interesting because like, not to be like pigeonhole, but like how a lot of actors just kind of play themselves in movies. I wonder if this is just going to be Dwayne Johnson playing himself with superpowers, because I feel like that's going to make or break the movie in terms of how I enjoy it. Because I feel like this isn't a character you can kind of just be Dwayne Johnson and then just call yourself. Because like it doesn't matter with like Jumanji or anything like that, any of those movies where he's basically the same character. But I feel like this movie kind of matters because. Yes. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know, but
it does kind of concern me that every single time he pitches this movie, he always like throws the phrase in there somewhere. This is a role I was born to play, which like
yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. was born to play Iron Man. I don't know if you were born to
And the thing too is, I feel like no one had to say that before they played them. It's like usually you would play the character, realize, oh, this worked really well.
Yes.
And then you're like, yeah, maybe I was born to play this character. Like, I don't think Hugh Jackman, and right at 2000 was like, I was born to play Wolverine. I think he was like, well, if this works out, maybe this can be my staple character.
Yes.
But again, going into this, especially with Dwayne Johnson kind of, again, having a very repetitive history of a certain type of character in all of his movies, and that character not, like, when I think Black Adam, I don't immediately think, man, Dwayne Johnson would be a great Black Adam. You know what I mean? Like, if that was the case, maybe I get it, but, like, and that's not what I'm getting.
Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds was a huge fan cast for Deadpool well before he even considered playing him, and that worked out. Like, Ryan Reynolds was like, "Yes, I love Deadpool. I want to play this character." I don't. Before Dwayne Johnson agreed to play Black Adam, I think in 2009 is when this movie was like originally pitched. I don't think anyone. Yeah, I don't like you just said. I don't think anyone looked at Black Adam in the comics and like. I think Dwayne Johnson would be perfect for this role. I don't know.
I think Dwayne Johnson more just wants to play a superhero,
and that's fine. He should play a superhero,
right?
But saying that he is born to play Black Adam of all characters seems weird
and like random. Like why? Like I always thought why Black Adam because like again not like not as obscure as like Morbius, but like. Still a pretty random villain to play, especially like before Shazam came out. Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of interesting, you know what I mean? But again, each their own. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems kind of random to me, and like
outside of like, I'm trying to think of character. Like, I could see him doing a fun like Maxi Zeus. Or like some like.
Ooh, that'd be kind of funny, yeah.
But
that'd be like a gag character, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that character that's not a big enough name for Dwayne Johnson to be attached to. Like, are there other?
Mongol.
Ooh.
Right? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because
big
Mongol's
dude.
like a warrior champion. He can get the crowd into it. He's got the size. Like, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That one. See, this is what I mean. This is kind of. Because, again, I feel like if he played I feel like that would be perfect.
Yes.
Because, again, he's a character with insane strength, strength ability, has this kind of showman attitude. Also, and I think that would work because obviously Dwayne Johnson's history goes back to wrestling, so he can clearly do that. I mean, he could probably even do the people's elbow if he wanted to, just for a nod on Superman, just to be funny.
Especially since like his whole goal with Black Adam is to eventually fight Superman. Like, Mongol would be perfect. Wow. Huh.
Right. Oh.
Huh.
Oh. Here we go again, man. We're just writing the DC. I'm putting that in my DC universe. I am putting that in there. That's a Superman movie right there. Mm-hmm. Superman in the war world or something like that. That would be a great movie.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if he's born to play Mongol, but I feel like that would be also a really good fit for him. But well,
I feel more confident in Mongol than Black Adam. I'll say that right now. But again. I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see what happens. But, man, that would be good.
From the trailer, at least looks better than Morbius. So,
Okay, but, like, let's make it an actual bar, though. Come on. That's not really fair. I mean, Morbius is, again, the only thing I liked about the Morbius trailer was I liked the music. And that is it.
I do like that song. It did the stupid trailer thing where like they take a song, slow it down, and like make it sound spooky and somber. When like that song is not spooky and somber, but yeah.
I know, but I mean they're doing that with everything now. I mean, even do you see the trailer for what is that new Jordan Peele movie?
Nope. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, they just slowed down. I forget what the song's called. It's like say yeah, but it's like creepy.
Right.
So I'm just like. I guess that's just a trope now. It's just what they do now.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my fan, I'm gonna put in my personal DC universe. I'm gonna put Dwayne Johnson's Mongol now. But that's what I mean. It's like you just sit down and think about characters. I feel like that can do way better than just like, you know what? Who's famous? You. Okay, let's put him here. Go. Like, kind of, I mean, I know it's not that easy because you have to get people to agree and stuff, but I feel like if you pitched a Superman, like a Henry Cavill Superman movie, where he's on the war world and has to fight Mongol in front of all these, like, alien specter and all that stuff, he would go. He could make, like, almost kind of like a Thor Ragnarok kind of thing. Yeah. He would still go for that. Like, 100%. Like Dwayne Johnson would go for that. Henry Cavill would go for that. Like that would be awesome.
For sure.
And then you could put all the budget into just crazy fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you could still like start the movie with Mongol fighting some other large dude, and like you can still have him have a couple of wins.
Oh yeah, no. Here's how you would do it. You would start off with this whole like array of bad looking alien dudes, and Mongol just wrecks all
at the same time, all of them.
Yes, like fights all of them, and then you can do it, and he just goes the whole like, "Is there no one else?" or whatever, something like that, and there's just like bodies drop everywhere. You know what I mean? And he needs another competitor. He needs something, and then like some droid or some computer, something can be like, a competitor has been detected or whatever from and then it shows like video of Superman like catching a plane or something.
Yes.
Or just doing whatever Superman's doing at the moment. And then Mongol comes to Earth, beams down to Metropolis, throws a few cars, flips a building or something. Superman comes down, and then they have like a little scuffle until he gets transported to the world, and then you have like a whole gladiator thing where he's like in the gladiator cages, and they like train him. They tell him how the rules and everything, but they also like there's no yellow sun because the world's been transported, so he has to like actually learn how to fight, kind of. But eventually he gets it down. They get closer, and he's smart enough to figure it out. And then he starts fighting in the games, beats everybody because it's Superman, and then the crowd likes Superman more than they like Mongol. And then Mongol's like, well, I ain't having that. This is my world. So he goes down, and then beats up on Superman. But then the crowd's like, oh, no, you need to, give him a real fight. Put him with a yellow sun. It's like, okay, whatever. So they go to they go back to close to the sun, and then they have the suit fight. And Mongol's still really strong, but Superman eventually overpowers him, takes him. And in tradition, he's supposed to kill Mongol because you got to kill him, but Superman doesn't kill him because he's Superman. And there's this whole thing, and and Mongol then, after being humiliated, tries to like kill Superman, and then like Superman.
Oh dear.
And then he's too tired. Then he gets beat up, but we don't actually see him die. It's implied he's dead, but of course he doesn't die, so we can see him again later. And Superman flies home, and boom.
Yes.
So it'll be probably. I mean, there's going to be better for that, but that's basically the elevator pitch of a Superman Marvel movie, which would probably be better than Black Adam. But we'll see.
I mean, that's as far as like basic structure. That sounds cool.
Yeah, right? Like, it's pretty simple. It's a good you can use it as an excuse to why Superman doesn't just solve all the world's problems, because at the same time, you can have other things going on Earth. Be like, oh man, this person's attacking. Why doesn't Superman just end this fight in 5 minutes? Well, he's on the world somewhere, and it's a wormhole, so, a couple days there is actually a few weeks or months here, so Superman's been gone for a while.
Yeah. And if you're far enough in the world, like far enough in the DC timeline, you could even kind of throw in cameos of like other Justice League members like trying to stop things that Superman wouldn't usually handle by himself. Like that could be cool, man. Wow.
Exactly. Was that so hard? I did that in 2 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a nerd in my apartment making comic book movie pitches, and I'm like, I feel like that would make $1 billion. But you know what? I mean, I don't know, because again, if you have good characters, decent action and effects, everything else will work itself out. Like, you got a decent story, good characters, decent action, you'll be fine. Because again, it's Superman. Solid Superman doesn't make $1 billion, you messed up, essentially. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, like it's Superman. You can do this.
Yeah, I mean,
again, I like that idea because it sets up your universe. You've got Mongol, other intergalactical threats. While Darkseid could have heard about it and all this stuff, or maybe that's how Darkseid hears about Superman for all we know, because the world could have this like intergalactic following or something, or Mongol's never been defeated or something, and all this and that, and then you could have like I said, back on Earth, things that Superman would handle normally with one hand tied behind his back, the whole league is like dealing with and like trying to like pick up the slack or whatever. So it not only does it show like, diversity with the Justice League, but it also, fix the pothole of Superman can fix. Because again, even in Marvel movies, everyone's always like, if everything's in New York, why is not every movie an Avengers movie? Because again, it stands to reason with Wanda. And Doctor, with whatever just happened with that, like, where are the rest of the Avengers? Well, who knows?
Like, I mean, the majority of the movie took place in a different dimension.
Well, yes, but I was mainly like the opening scene with like the freaking, because it's interesting how like people like, oh well, they weren't there. It's like, well, I mean, you could say the same thing about Infinity War, because I mean, Infinity War, they were just randomly right in front of the Sanctum Sanctorum when things were popping off.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, Spider-Man just shows up, so it's like,
they're around.
and I mean, I know they're around. Like, you can't just be like, oh, they're like, I mean, obviously, you can't have every person in every movie. I know that, but I'm just saying, having an in-universe solid excuse is pretty convenient, and I think that would make people happy too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not that Black Adam might be amazing, but the movie you just pitched me, I really want to see it now. So badly, wow. But Dwayne Johnson wasn't born to play Mongol, so it can't happen. Sorry. So at what point do you think Dwayne Johnson like legitimately believed he was born to play Black Adam? Like, at what, like, do you think he read the Black Adam comic, or what made him believe that?
Personally, I think Dwayne Johnson believes he was born to play a superhero. I don't think he believes he was born to play Black Adam specifically. I think that just happens to be the most opportunistic opportunity right now. So, again, I think he just wanted to play a superhero, whether that be Black Adam or it could have been someone else. Who knows? A Martian Manhunter, maybe. I don't know. But, like, I don't, I feel like if that was the movie, he'd say that's the you were born to play. I kind of feel like it's a very, like, it's whatever opportunity was in front of him. I feel like that's the one he might feel. And again, I'm not saying he's, like, straight up lying or anything like that. I think it's more just a lot of times people can feel like what opportunities are presented in front of them are more,
They feel it's like destiny, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. Yeah. I just find it very funny.
Right?
Like, not
he
that,
does say it like every time.
Yeah. Not that I think the movie's gonna be bad. I don't know. I question if this is if it'll be like if it'll actually be the movie that he thinks it'll be. I don't know.
Who knows?
The trailer didn't unhype me, but it didn't like wow me.
Yeah, it was just middle of the road for me. It was just kind of okay.
Yeah, which I
like,
guess.
Am I gonna see it? Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, maybe the second trailer will like show more of him fighting the Justice Society, and that'll be cool. So, but as of right now, I'm not like excited, but I liked enough what I saw to probably go see it. So, better than Morbius.
Again, the bar.
Yeah. Not high. Oh, speaking of Morbius, after they re-released Morbius and it made no money, do you think they're just gonna like quietly cancel that El Muerto movie?
100% 100% they should. Will they? I don't know. Because again, I don't know how Morbius movie got this far.
Right.
So again, I'm not sure. But I think they definitely should, and I think if they run into any complications, they definitely will. But again, too early to tell. But I think they definitely should. But I don't. I don't know for sure if they will, though. I 100% would. But.
Right, because Kraven the Hunter is 100% happening. I think Madam Web is definitely happening. Obviously, Into the Spider-Verse is obviously happening, but like, just, that should happen because that was a good movie.
Yeah, no, that one makes sense. Like, it's like the other ones. I'm like, what? No, like again, Kraven the Hunter, another character. I feel like most people, or the majority of people, would not know just hearing the name, especially without a Spider-Man in this universe.
Right. Like, it... Because I know that Kraven the Hunter is at least rumored, if not already confirmed, to be a pretty major character in the next Spider-Man PS5 game. So theoretically, if it came out around the same time that came out, there could be some cross-promotion there. But I think Spider-Man's a little further away in this movie. Because this movie's coming out in, like, I think January 23. I don't think we're getting Spider-Man until at least next summer. But yeah, no. Well, one last little bit of news that I have is, you know that game Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl?
Yes.
They finally added voice acting in a recent update.
It's too late now.
It's too late, yes.
That should have been original. Like, because again, the fact that you could add it now tells me that this was a choice. And I feel like you made the wrong one.
Yeah, it feels like a thing that I wonder if the developers wanted to have it in there. They probably just need a little more time and resources to like actually make it work. But Nickelodeon or the publisher or whoever was like above the developers like no, we need it to come out now. We need to come out this fiscal year. We need to come out in October,
Which
whenever.
Which is so funny because it's like, what are you racing against? What are you competing against?
Like
Smash came out years ago, so you missed that boat, obviously.
Yeah, and really at that point, the Warner Brothers Multiverses game hadn't been announced yet. That hadn't even been a rumor yet. So you weren't racing against a game that hadn't been announced yet.
Right. So it's like,
what are you waiting for? Just calm down. Just like, my biggest criticism of the game was that it felt soulless because we didn't get to hear the characters react to what was happening. Like, not that like that is what carries Smash Bros, but it's always really cool like hearing the different characters, like especially when they're like blasting off and you hear them like stream as well. Like, that's just a lot of fun. Them saying stuff when they taunt, like that's just what brings that level of charm to that game, and especially with the vast majority of the Nickelodeon voice actors still working with those characters, like why not?
Yeah. Like some of them people are still doing their shows, so it's like you can't be like they're not available. But
I don't know. I'm glad that it finally is in there, but it's too little, too late. I think.
Yeah, definitely too little, too late, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh well.
But hey, I mean, again, each their own.
Yeah.
I think that is gonna be something they're gonna just have to regret because, did you notice that with Warner Brothers they made sure hey, we got voice acting, and then not just any voice acting, we got good voice.
We got Kevin Conroy, we got Bugs Bunny, we got Tim Daly, we got the people who voice these characters.
That's what I'm saying. They got the legit, they got everybody. So I'm they weren't playing around.
Yep.
They knew voice acting was the number one problem with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, so it's look, I'm not doing this.
Yep. I think if they make a sequel to Nickelodeon, which I think is fairly possible, it made a big enough splash, it had a big enough impact that I think A couple years down the line, there will be a sequel. I think they will allow them to have voice acting in that game. But as far as in the state it's in right now, I don't think voice acting is gonna like draw in like a huge surge of people right now. But yeah, for the people that are playing it, if I ever go over to a friend's house who has it, like I'll be more willing to actually want to play it now because there is voice acting. But I don't personally like want to rush out and buy it because they added voice acting.
Right.
Yeah. But good for them for finally getting it in there at least. I think that's all the topics I have right now. Anything else you want to discuss or bring up that we already discussed or whatever?
Not really. No, I think we're good. I'm still thinking about that Mongol movie idea. I don't know. I kind of like that now that I thought about it. I'm like, man, maybe we should get on that.
It's so funny how like. Well, first of all, it's so funny how like, we had entire like videos dedicated to us constructing DC movies, and I feel the one we just made with Mongol was better than all of them. Like in 2 minutes, we made the best DC movie possible.
It's like, and I think a lot of it is just disconnection. I feel like the people make it, like just like the people behind Nickelodeon All Star, I feel like the people who decided no, we're making this now, weren't the people actually making the game. I think they were just kind of like, because again, like especially being in the working world now, you kind of realize that like a lot of decisions come from up top. So it's kind of like you kind of don't really have a say. It's kind of like this is what you're gonna do or else. So it's like even though it might not be your call, it is the call that is made.
Yep.
And I think that's happening a lot with DC movies too. I think a lot of times, the people actually making those calls aren't necessarily either the biggest fans or have the best knowledge or know everything about, property. So they rely on pitches and then, or just, you know what? I like this character. Make a movie about this character. Well, sir, it doesn't make sense to make a movie about this character right now. Well, do it anyway. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of how a lot of it goes. Instead of, skillfully, utilizing the best attributes of characters and having them work together, they kind of just throw it together or just make decisions that don't necessarily work, and then it's just, that's all we got. So I think, having people the same, and again, I think that's why something like The Mandalorian works really well, because Dave Filoni makes all the decisions, and Dave Filoni knows Star Wars.
Yes.
He lives it, he breathes it, he is that guy. He knows everything there is to know. So when he's making the calls with everything in mind of keeping continuity, of representing characters correctly, of highlighting the best attributes of what needs to be known, and that shows with the quality of what he makes versus when Disney just has whoever the hottest director is right now, or whoever the hottest whatever is, oversee a project. They're not engraved in the IP. They're not, this is everything that I live for. This is just, me getting a paycheck and trying to do my best work. And then, since they're not engraved in it, they're kind of just whatever feels right to them. Like, you're making big time decisions without being big time involved in what actually works in this property. And I think that's the biggest problem. And then that happens in all forms. That happens in movies, sports, that happens in everything. So it's like, it's just business. I mean, it's how it goes sometimes. So it's just a little interesting. Yeah. But that's my take on it. I feel like if more people making the biggest decisions were these fully immersed fans that just happen to now be creating things, then I think we'd have a lot better quality in this terms of things. So I think Marvel does so well.
And we've obviously hit on this countless times before, but I firmly believe that that what you're saying is being enacted perfectly in the current DC animated universe they're setting up, because there's a Green Lantern movie coming out soon, if not already out, with Jon Stewart, but there are other Justice League members like like in it. It's not a Justice League movie, but they're at least like involved in the extent that it would make sense for them to be involved in a Green Lantern movie. So like that not only shows these people really like Green Lantern, they like Jon Stewart, which I think is the right choice. He's the best Green Lantern. They also know how to utilize the IP to his best ability. They don't do the Marvel thing of, oh, this is a Captain America movie, so we might mention Iron Man, but he can't actually be in it. But, you know, we're actually going to have Green Arrow, Barry Allen, etc., who just, like, doing things that make sense for them to do by, like, in a way that makes sense for a Green Lantern movie. And I think, you know, like I said before, I think all DC movies should just be animated. I think that's the best medium for superheroes anyway. But also, I think those people should be making bigger decisions across the board since they're clearly good at it. But what do I know?
Guy on YouTube.
Yep.
But hey.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, like I don't love the current art style as much as I did the New 52 art style. That one grew on me like a lot over time, but I still think the newer Rebirth art style looks very good. It looks from what I've seen so far, they've utilized the characters in a very meaningful way. They've adapted stories in a very solid way. I feel like if you just gave those people more budget, made them a little longer, and put them on the big screen, that would do well. Or take those people and have them, you know, make live action movies would also be good. But I don't know. Yeah. So anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
That's all I've got from here.
Okay. So with that, we will see you all next time.